Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the end of the year. A lot of people towards the end of the year say it's a good time to buy a car, and some of you have been probably waiting for the end of the year. Some of you may not be in the car market right now, but still wanted to watch. I still appreciate that. Also, before I get into the video about the car market and some tips and tricks to possibly help you save some money, I wanted to let you know, check out the description box. I have a link there. So if you're thinking about doing Toro or you're a Toro host, everything I use for Toro, I put in the description box. So my lockbox, no smoking stickers, etc. So all that, it's all there. If you're wondering what it is, first time you're hearing about it, Toro, it's a Turo. Go ahead and Google, check it out. It's a platform where you can rent out your car. So if you haven't heard of it, go ahead, check out. It's a pretty cool website. You can put your car on there, rent it out, make a couple extra bucks, or offset your payments, whatever your goal may be. But yeah, I have some videos about Toro. If you want to also learn more about it, check those out. But let's go ahead and get into it. The car market, right? The car market's a little crazy, and we had the Feds reduce interest rates already this year twice, and maybe they may do another one in December. That's up in the air, but that's good if you're financing, right? Interest rates going down. But I actually go to car dealerships quite often, and I was at the dealership not too long ago. Even though rates have cut, the interest rates hasn't reflected too much when it comes to financing a car. And the reason I'm saying this is I want to put this out there. This is very important. When you're buying a car, at least I run into this, and you most likely are going to as well. When you go to a car dealership, that salesperson that's helping you, he or she, sometimes they don't even know much because they may be new. Sometimes they don't know all the incentives. Sometimes they don't want to share that with you. So you got to do a little bit of research yourself. And a lot of times when you talk to them about financing, they'll throw pretty high interest rate numbers your way and just say that's the market. So you kind of got to do the homework. You got to figure out, what's your credit score, what you qualify for based on your credit score and your credit history and things like that. You kind of got to do a little bit of homework. And there's some tools and resources that you can use just by having cell phone. Credit Karma is it helps. It gives you kind of an idea. So do some of your homework, learn where your credit is, where so you can kind of get an idea what you should be getting interest rate wise if you're financing. Because if you're gonna just leave it to the salesperson at the car dealership, most likely you're gonna get a higher interest rate than you should have. So that's just one tip. Do your homework on your interest rate if you're again going to be financing. And then the biggest thing also, if you just plan to go to the dealership and ask the salesperson that's helping you at the time, hey, what are all the promotions, offers, specials, things like that? I wouldn't do that either. Again, a lot of the time, believe it or not, some of these salespeople that you're working with, they don't even know all the incentives. They don't know all the deals. And when you're on the lot and you're looking at all the cars, they usually don't advertise their best deal. Now I know there's some dealerships that do the no haggle and they're upfront, but if you're not at one of those dealerships, most likely they're not going to have on the window all their best deals. They're probably not going to share all that with you. So again, you're going to have to do some homework. Now I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to show you what I do before I buy a car. So before I buy a car, depending, whatever car it is that I want, and this, I'm just going to throw a random brand. Let's say Toyota. Toyota's a pretty popular. I just made a video about the Toyotas. I mean, I was at the dealership and I made a video. If you want to check that out, and you can see the car line and everything. They had a lot of cars. A lot of these dealerships, their inventory is growing. Sales, it's changed from COVID. So if you around COVID time, if you're at the car dealership, you're gonna see that inventory they didn't have a lot of it. Prices were through the roof, but prices are still high. But inventory's gotten back to normal, where lots are full. And what you got to do is, what I do is I'll go on the Toyota website for this example, and it could be Ford, Dodge, whatever company it is. Go on their website, search for the specials tab, and there you can see all the promotions and incentives they're offering. And that's good to know about those specials. That way, when you go there, you already have a knowledge of, hey, these are the deals, these are the promotions, and you're not so dependent on the salesperson. So I'm actually going to go ahead and share the screen, and we're going to go on these dealership websites, right, sharing the screen. So right here is Auto Trader. This is one of the tools I use when I want to just search different prices of cars. Auto Trader is really good. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just one of the websites I use. There's other ones like cars.com and Car Gurus, etc. But this is just my favorite one. You can leave me comments down below. Let me know if there's one you like. Maybe you like cars.com. Let us know why. What's the reason? So others that watch the video, they can also look at the comments, so hopefully learn some new things. But I use Auto Trader. But for this example, I'm just gonna go right to a dealership. So I'm gonna go Google really quick. Okay, mom. Oops, I was spelling that wrong. So I'm gonna go on a Ford dealership. So here's Monarchs. I picked Monarchs because I have a Ford. I bought it from them. And but you can go on different ones. I'm just using this one for example. It could be I don't know where you live, so it could be a Toyota dealership that you're used to going to, or Dodge, or whatever company it is. They should, most of them, if not all, at least every single website I've gone on, I always will find somewhere they'll have a special and deals, and you can look through what they have. So you'll see new vehicle specials, you have used vehicle specials, and so on, right? So in this case, let's say it's towards the end of the year, maybe your car was in an accident, total loss, you got to buy a car, or your car's getting kind of old, you don't want to spend any more money on repairs, or you're just tired of your car and you want something new. No matter what it is, if you're looking for a new vehicle, try this out. I think it'll help you get a better deal. If you try this out, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if it helped you. But I'm going to click new vehicle specials. And right now, we're almost at Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, we all know Black Friday is coming. So they got the Black Friday savings and things like that. So right here, boom. Let's say you're thinking about getting a Ford F-150. They're saying on the 2024 Ford F-150 XLT Power Boost, you can save up to $14,500. Now, right here in orange, it does say on former service loaners. So it looks like they're doing some special incentives on their new trucks that they took from the lot, and they put it over to the service department. It looks like those were the vehicles they lended out when individuals will bring their cars for service, for some warranty work. They give them one of these trucks as a loaner, and now they're selling them at discounting, right? So that may be something the salesperson that you're working with may not know. So this is beneficial to already know this in advance, so you can ask them, because sometimes I've run into the situation. I ask a salesperson a question, they have no idea. They have to go and run and ask a manager. So I kind of like to do the homework so I can go in there and kind of basically say, hey, this is what you guys have. It's on your website, and it helps the process. Also, if you're not in the market for a truck, maybe you want a Bronco or Bronco Sport. Maybe you don't want to finance. Maybe you want a lease. Right here, they're saying, look, no money down, 36 months, $499 on the Bronco. Now, of course, that's going to be on approved credit, and you got to get a little bit more details on that. But this is on their special. So some of you, you like to lease, some of you hate it, some of you like to buy new, some of you like to buy used. Everyone has their own preference, but here you can see in specials, they got some lease specials on the Broncos. And some of you that may be watching want to go 100% electric. Boom. If the Lightning catches your interest on the Lightning XLT, they're doing 0% APR up to 75 months with plus a $5,000 rebate. And they're even saying so if you're not aware of this, when it comes to electric cars, dealerships are having a hard time moving them. They're not doing that well. So they're throwing a lot of incentives. So if you're thinking about getting a new car and you've been thinking about maybe trying electric, the good news on that is there a lot of companies right now are doing a lot of incentives on their electric vehicles to move them. So if you want to try them out, look on this Lightning. Now, I know not everyone loves the Lightning. You may want a Tesla. You may want another brand. But right here, this is not too bad. I think, 0% APR up to 75 months plus $5,000 rebate. And they're also throwing in here a level 2 home charger. So if they're going to install that at your house to help it charge quicker overnight, if you don't, if you don't use the vehicle overnight or whenever you don't use it to charge quicker, hey, that's pretty sweet, because electric vehicles, I don't have one, but I think they work for people like, let's say you work from home, or maybe you have a short commute every day. Hey, this could, if you don't drive much, I think they're great. I think if you're an individual that drives a lot and you're going to have to find charging stations and the charging can take a while, then that's a huge inconvenience. But I think if you're someone that maybe works from home, or you have a short commute and you don't do a lot of driving, basically when you drive is pretty much always the short commute, then this could be something that's good for you. And if your home has solar panels and things like that, it could really save you some money on gas. So I think for some people, it's a great option. I think for others, it's a horrible option. So it just really depends, because a lot of us forget not all of us are in the same situation. So even though an electric vehicle may not work for me, that doesn't necessarily mean it won't work for anybody. For some people, electric vehicles, I've asked them, I've talked to people that have had electric vehicles and they say they love them, and some people say, hey, they hate them, and they traded them in, sold them, and went back to gas. So it just depends, on your driving and your situation. But there's definitely a lot of incentives out there. And again, I'm just using the Ford website here just to show you, give you an idea how you can find specials on websites. But you can do this with other brands again. And they're even doing on their different ones. So like the Expedition, Explorer, Escape. We kind of went over that 150, but look, 1.9. So on new vehicles, I wanted to throw this out since I'm seeing it right here. On a lot of new vehicles with approved credit, they're doing really low APR. So that's a benefit. A lot of times when you get a used car, the pre-owns, the interest rate's actually higher than the new cars. So that's something to factor in if you're financing. Because sometimes if you're buying a car that's pre-owned, and let's say it has low miles, it's only about a year or two old, compare it with a new one. Because sometimes, believe it or not, I actually worked in the car business years back. I seen people buy a used car because in our minds, we automatically think savings. And that's not always the case. Sometimes with these new car incentives, you might get a new car for less than a used one. If you can get a new one, why not? So used doesn't always mean big savings. So just keep that in mind. And a way to find that out is using Auto Trader or Cars.com and comparing, because you can look at new and used at the same time and see the price difference. And then if you're financing, you want to see, well, what's the interest rate difference? Because that's going to factor into your payments. So a little bit more tips and tricks. But I will admit, again, I was at the car dealership not too long ago. Prices are still hot. So even though they're doing discounts and they're offering some special APRs, I thought, prices would be lower. They're still high, so you might see some sticker shock if you've not been at a car dealership in a long time. You're going to see some high prices on these vehicles, but these incentives help a little bit. But as you can see, they have on their heavy duty trucks 3.9 for 66 months. They're saying if you own a Ram and you trade it in for a Ford F-150, they want your business, they'll give you an additional $2,000 rebate. So a lot of incentives. And I'm telling you, at least for me, a lot of times I go to car dealerships, I'll talk to a salesperson, and sometimes the salesperson is pretty new. They have no idea about these incentives. I usually try to see all the deals. I actually try to, if I'm like really thinking like, hey, I'm going to buy, I kind of try to start the process over the phone. Some dealerships will do it, some won't. But I hate going to the car dealership, sitting at their table and wasting hours with back and forth. I kind of try to, do my homework and kind of reach out to dealerships, see who are willing to work with me on the phone. Like, for example, I bought a Ford F-150 on Molinox, and the process was great. I did it over basically, we did it through text and over the internet. I really loved that. So when I went there, it was just basically to test drive the truck, do a walk around, and sign the paperwork and take it, right? And since I already liked the numbers and everything, it was, as long as the truck, wasn't damaged, and it was a new truck, so it wasn't, and I drove nice and everything. I like that. It was just going and sign. So I love that. Some dealerships still won't do that, but I always try. That's just something I do. Hey, I try to do it online. I shop around, see who has the best price. I call them up. try to talk to a sales manager and try to get done deal by the time I get there. That's what I do. But if you want to go and let's say the dealership you call won't do that and you still want to go in person, do your homework, find out the specials. A lot of these companies have it all on the internet. Find out if you're financing, where you stand when it comes to credit, to see, you know, where you should be. Because remember, these dealerships, they want to make as much money as possible. So that they're not necessarily going to tell you what's best for you. They're going to tell you what's best for them. If you want to get the best deal and get, you know, and save money, you got to do the homework. And I know it's not fun. A lot of times buying a car is not fun for a lot of us, but these are just some of the tips I can give you in hopes that you save money. If you found it helpful, do me a huge favor. Smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave me some comments down below. I really appreciate you watching. And again, if you're interested in Toro, or you're already a Toro host and you want to know what I use, check out that description box. I put the link in there and it'll show you everything I use. Thanks again.